All right, guys, so welcome back to Joe's RC Corner, and today we're going to be back on the Cruzer, and we got a little bit more painting to do before we can close up the firewall and everything on here. So stay tuned, guys. Okay, guys, so like I said, we have a little bit more painting we got to do. The cage here, before I get that remounted onto the airframe here, I do need to touch up this paint. Some of it got a little bit scratched up when trying things on and off. And also, since I drilled the holes down in here, I do have to go ahead and deburr those before we get that back in place as well. Once we have that back in here, we're going to go ahead and get all this finalized, get the screws for the center section here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get those riveted in place. Yes, I know it might be easier for some things with that out, but I want to go ahead and get that taken care of, get these seat bases also riveted down in place, because I can get in here. Shouldn't have much issue getting things in and pass through here. I think it'll be just fine. However, most items are going to be going up through this center channel anyway, because I'm going to have a park and brake, so I got to mount that somewhere, and I don't know where yet. So we'll get that in place. This I'm not going to rivet on yet because I need to be able to pull this off to make it easier to drill the holes centered for whatever switches and circuit breakers that will be mounted in the center console area. So I'll take care of that at a later time. So I don't want to get that riveted in place yet. But with that, I do have some cargo netting that I bought on Amazon. It's just bungee cargo netting. It's got 6 hooks. And what I'm going to use this for is when I put my cargo back here, this will hold it all down. They fit perfectly too. I'll need to just stretch them just a little bit in order to make sure that they go to the corners. So I like that. That'll be great for storing cargo behind the seat so it doesn't go flopping around everywhere. So the other things that I did get for that portion is I did get some hooks that mount in there. However, I'm not sure about using these. Get them out here. They're probably a bit overkill and a little bit in weight here, and I'm thinking I might swap these out for something a little bit smaller, because these are really for mounting things on trailers, so it might be a little bit overkill here. So I might look for something else to kind of back this area here and mount it into place. So I'll have to look around for something like that. I'm not sure. This is just a little bit too large, a little too heavy too, to be honest with you. So I don't really want to use that if I don't have to. So we're going to try to look for something else there. All right, so, but other than that, the interior is nicely painted. I'm really happy with that, and we're going to move forward. We're going to get the, set up the outside smaller paint booth, and we're going to rough this up really good, do a little bit of sanding on it, and then we're going to go ahead and get that painted with the hammered metal paint again, just to make sure we have a nice coat on there. Oh, and for the, I'm going to get these painted as well. So I got to get all these prepped for paint. I already got the deburred the end holes here on the rudder pedals. If anybody has suggestions on caps, have they put any caps on these, or mostly just leave these empty? That'd be great to know. So, you know, I don't think it's a big deal leaving them open. I'm just going to go with that. But if anyone has some thoughts on that or knows what they've, you know, what have you used in the past for that, that'd be great. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and get these prepped, primed, and and painted. And I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with the, I think I'm going to use, again, the bed liner, because that'll give a nice non-slip on here. I am going to be careful. I'm going to tape off these areas here where everything touches again. So it'll just be primer inside this area, for instance. So where those two parts, where these two parts are in the nylon bushing, I'm going to leave those unpainted in that area there, just with the maybe with primer. Maybe I'll paint it black first and then add the bed liner where I need it. So, you know, on the rudder and the brake pedals here, for instance, and then we'll get these all riveted in place. And I got to rough these up, sand them, and smooth them out. And then we'll get everything back inside here before we close up that firewall section. Now, of course, the front top skin is going to be left loose until I'm ready, because I don't want to finalize any of that yet. I do have my panel that I've been working on. I might still try to work on that, but I am still considering having Aircraft Specialties do it. I did not get a chance to call him this week. Steve, I apologize. I've been extremely busy with work. That's why not much has actually been done on the plane either this week. So I do apologize about that. I do want to get in touch with you. So just hang out there, bud. But anyway, so moving on. I kind of like the silver accents here from the screws. And these are going to continue out along the backside here. I did buy some hinge here for this, but I bought the wrong size. I need to go up one more size on there. It doesn't really reach anything. So I'm going to take a look, see what I can get on that. I do have a rudder hinge that I'm not using. It was a spare one. I might use that because that might give me enough space to go between here and here. And I can drill new holes right along here to match up with this. Then have that piano hinge right there. So I might look at that. I might cut that piece up and see how it fits, and then go from there. All right, guys, so that's the plan for today. Stay tuned, and we'll see how much we get done this weekend. Bye now. Okay, guys, so I didn't do a time lapse for what I was doing today. I did basically I primed and painted the cage for the cockpit area, my rudder pedals, and also my brake pedals right there. So those are all now in the flat black, which, to be honest with you, is not really all that flat, but we'll wait till it flashes off and kind of see exactly what it turns out to be. But I think it's a little bit more of a satin. If you remember on the landing gear, it came out a little bit more of a satin than a flat, which is kind of nice. I actually like it. It's not as super shiny, so it's not going to be in your face glaring black color, which will work out really nice on the D-Day stripes on the plane. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. We'll take a quick look at it, and then we'll get on to the next steps that I'm going to be able to do. Okay, so as you can see, here's one of the rudder pedals, and that came out pretty nice. And like you said, has just a little bit of a sheen. I did also paint these. I will need to make sure that everything moves freely still. Those are the connectors, the hinges for the brake pedals, which those are also in the flat black. These will be getting another coat of the Krylon bed truck liner. That'll give me the non-slip on these. Also, the top half, about from here up, these will also have the bed liner on it, just to give that little non-slip on the rudder pedals there, similar to what we got in here, which I think this came out really nice. I'm really liking this stuff right in here. But yeah, all the paint came out really good. And here you can see the, well, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it, but we'll try. This is the cage. Originally it was in the hammered metal. We went ahead and changed that up. Decided just to go with the flat black on here. We'll leave the accent of the hammered metal on the instrument panels. So I think that'll look pretty nice there. Here's the other rudder pedal, is also already painted, ready to go. So we'll be able to, once these are all cured, I should be able to start getting those mounted in place. We will need to grease these, of course, to make sure that everything moves freely. But once we get these those parts mounted here permanently, we will be able to add the firewall, add the cage, and also fit the skin, the upper skin on there. Now I'm gonna grab some foam and some stuff just to protect the paint on that. But the reason why I went ahead with the two-part flat black there is it will protect that a lot better, a little bit more. It could stand a little bit more abuse, much better than that rattle can paint that I was using on there. So as you can see, this is nice. This paint really goes on beautiful. I'm really happy with that. So that's going to look really good with that black there and there. We'll start getting everything else situated in here. I do have to finish drilling out those holes and also getting a new hinge for back there still. So we'll start working on those things and move on. Okay, guys, so this is it for today, Saturday. Tomorrow we'll try to do a little bit more work on it, but as you can see, we got quite a bit done. I'm going to go ahead and go over it. I didn't have a time lapse going for today, so we're going to go through step by step here and take a look, see what we got done. All right. Okay, guys, so as I mentioned, we did get this all painted. The cage is now painted fully and ready to be mounted permanently on the airframe. And I believe the only ones I want to do right now are these front ones. I'm not going to do them today, but these front ones are going to be done. And then we got to start getting the front skin laid up. And I got to really protect this because I don't want to get this all scratched up like last time. But I think the flat black is actually much better. It goes with the whole military scheme, with the black and the olive drab here. And of course, I did get all this riveted in place. I know I'm going to get some heat from some people, comments, but bear with me, guys. I'm not the first one that's done it this way, and I think I want to just go ahead and get this closed up. I'm going to have this whole area right here is all going to be removable. So I'm going to have access to that area. And plus we have the hole in the back to be able to get to the servo and everything. So I'm not too concerned about this. So I went ahead and riveted all this in place. Now this back section, I'm thinking about using this bed liner material as well in this back area. So maybe I'll get this taped off at a later date, get that painted with that bed liner, because I want to protect that paint, and I don't really want to add carpet or anything like that. So the bed liner material should do a nice job of protecting this area along with that back area from scratching up. Put the seats back in temporarily. Of course, these bolts will be able to be removed, and I can pull those pans out and then get down inside there. There's plenty of access in there with it all assembled, so I'm not too concerned, guys. I know some things might be easier without all of that there, but I just want to get these pieces all put together. And I think I'm going to end up leaving these rivets here, the silver, because I think they're going to go nice with those riv nuts that I have with the bolts that I'm using to hold these panels on here. So we'll go with that. So right now, this is all just temporarily in place, as you can see. Looks pretty darn good, if you ask me. I think the black came out pretty good. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward with getting the firewall in place, and the front skin needs to be on here prior to putting that firewall on. Otherwise, you won't be able to get there. So we're going to go ahead and go with that next, probably, is get the front skin on. We're going to get the rudder pedals back in for final, and get as much of the linkage kind of started. The tunnel here, this side wall right here comes off, so I'll be able to reach in through there and get all the rudder cables all lined up and everything. So I'm not too concerned there as well. Then we do have to still move to the back section here. I got to finish up this back area. And what I need to do is I need to make up the elevator pulleys need to get mounted in place, at least on the inside here. And then I can start rivet all of this in place. I may do what Mark did and just do a few on the stab support, because that way if I have to do anything for some reason, I have to take it apart, I can go ahead and do that easily. I do need to start working on the stab. The vertical stab is still wrapped up here, so we do have to start working on that soon. I can't really do it in here. I can build it, but I can't really mount it in here, if that makes sense. The ceiling's not tall enough in here for that stab. But once we get that part done over there, I got a guy that's letting me borrow a paint booth that I can roll out to the front, and we'll roll the airplane out into that paint booth, tape everything off the way it needs to, and then get this the exterior painted. I do have a roll-in cart that's going to be coming in that I can lay down and spray inverted. It's going to be hard, but I can do it. I found there's a little trick that you can use with a plastic bag. Maybe we'll go over that during one of our next videos. But anyways, nonetheless, everything is all pretty much done here. These are all just curing now. We're going to let those sit overnight. This was already cured enough, so we got it in place. And that way all I have to do is rivet this down when we're ready. So looking pretty good. I'm really happy with this. And I'm really looking forward to getting the paint on the outside of the plane and really start having it look like what I'm envisioning in my head on what this is going to look like. So anyways, all right, guys, so that's it for today. I'll catch you guys up on the next day. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll get right back to work. Okay, guys, so it's the next day here, and we're going to continue working on the Cruzer. As we mentioned before in the previous video, we did get quite a bit done up in here in the front. We got everything remounted. These are still going to need to be painted, so they're only lightly tightened down right now on the seat bases. But I think today I'm going to start working on this front side here to see if I can't get that firewall in place so I can get the weight off the tail. I'm not really a big fan of having this back here with all the weight sitting on that tail. I'm not sure if it'll do anything, but the sooner I can get it off of that weight, get that weight off that tail, the better. And then what we'll do is we'll get that front nose wheel assembly done, because I still haven't really finished that. Now there are still the point of the engine mount brackets that need to be primed and painted and then mounted down in there too in the front. Haven't quite gotten to that yet. We will start working on some of it, but I do need to get that front skin on here. So now that this is all cured overnight, it's now been 24 hours since I sprayed this. I'm going to wrap this with some paper, and I brought some of the delicate surface masking tape, and I'm going to take some of that brown paper, wrap it around this here, and then use that delicate masking tape to hold it in place while I get the skin on, because I don't want to scratch up this paint. So we're going to be very careful with that and get that skin in place, and also then get that firewall in place as well. And then we'll put in a few rivets and then tape that up, so that way it's up and out of the way. The front firewall, or the front, the instrument panel here, I'm not going to mount it on there permanently yet. I want to be able to slide it off, so I'm going to wrap this also with some tape in some spots to make sure that the aluminum doesn't touch and scratch this up as well. I also pulled out the parts that go up here along the bar where the door mounts, and I think that front corner over there I'm going to have to trim a little bit to make it a little bit easier to feed that in, because this needs to have some space here, and it seems to fit nicely. When you put it from the outside, it has about a 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch gap back there, which is what it's supposed to have. But I want to get that fitted so that way I can take this off, and this is probably going to be painted in the olive drab, but we want to make sure it fits properly. And then we'll get that, maybe get that cleat coat in place. Probably not today, but soon. And then this piece here will go on this top side, like so, and that's what butts up to the rib of the wing. Once those are done, once that's done, then I can start looking at getting the door mounted and hinged and built for that. And as I've mentioned previously, I do have to get the back side here. I need to get this all completed and closed up here. So that means I need to get the elevator pulley inside the back skin here. Get that mounted, because it's going to be a little bit difficult to get back in there later on to get that riveted in place. So we might get that taken care of. I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to get done this week. Maybe some of it might bleed into next week, but we're going to see how much we can do. All right, so stay tuned, and I'm going to have the time lapse on this time. All right, guys, so welcome back. So we're getting ready to add that front skin. I don't know if you were able to see or not, but I got the rudder pedals and the brake master cylinders installed right now. So we're getting ready to get the firewall and the front skin up here mounted in place temporarily. So to do that also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off this so you can see here what I did, and I'm going to turn around the camera so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, I want to protect this new finish on the frame here. So what I did is we wrapped some of this tape right here backwards, so this non-sticky side is touching the metal. And then we stuck the paper onto that and then wrapped the paper with the tape on that. So now, as you can see, these slide up and down along with the on the pipe, but it's going to protect this paint from getting scratched up while I'm trying to get that front skin on there. So we're going to go ahead and get started and get this prepped. I need to finish prepping this bar right here as well, because I do need to get the original panel back on there as well, so that way everything is kind of mocked up and I can get that skin laid on top. I will be most likely taking this back off again and we'll go ahead and cut this out so that way we can overlay the new panel that I have over there that I'm making back on there. But I'm still debating whether I want to go talk to Aircraft Specialties about that. But we'll see how that all works out. But as you can see, we got this is all in there. We do have these greased as well. I need to fix that one up just a little bit on the outside edge there, and I'll brush that on. This was a little bit tight, so I had to open up these holes just a little bit due to the paint on there. So this one got a little scratched up, so not a big deal. I'll clean it off with some alcohol, and then we'll brush that on there. When you're sitting in the plane, you're not going to see that, so I'm okay with it. I know it's probably better just to take it off, respray it, but if I do that, then run into the same problem again and have to. So it's just not worth it. No one's going to see it. It's down below. It's still going to be protected with the paint, so not too concerned. I'm only putting brakes on one side in case anybody's wondering about that. I'm only putting brakes on one side of my plane. I will be running a parking brake, and I'm not sure how that's going to hook up yet. We'll get to it. I'm also debating whether I just want to run one throttle since I'm mostly going to be flying it. My wife doesn't know how to fly. So for the most part, I'll be flying the plane. So we'll keep moving on that. Other than that, I'm liking this, and let's keep moving. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we're back where we started from. After we got all the interior painted now, we got the front skin temporarily remounted. And I think I am going to go ahead and go with the skin on the outside. We'll have to do some work along that. And this side looks pretty darn nice. May have to bend this outward just a little bit. But everything fits really good. Right back where it was. The only thing I have here that's kind of not fitting the way I'd like to is this here. This is leaning out a little bit too far, and it might be okay. Because once this is all screwed in, and I do have that extra sheet that's going to go on top of here, that might give me that distance there, so that way I make them nice, smooth transfer again. So we'll see how that all works out. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this, guys. It's looking really nice. It's looking like an airplane again. And now I'm happy because that's just there as a just in case. I got my two lead acid batteries up here in the front to hold the nose down a little bit more. I may put something underneath them so they don't scratch up any of that paint there. But yeah, it's looking really good, guys. So she's getting there. All right, guys, so this is probably going to be the end of the video. That's all I'm going to get done on her today. I got some cleaning up to do now and prep work for some more work to get done on this. So, like I mentioned previously, I want to try to get I got to look at the instructions and the plans and maybe see if you guys might have any suggestions as well in regards to, should I wait to rivet the cage to the frame, or should I go ahead and get that done now? You know, there's other parts that I went ahead and finished knowing that I'm going to have to try to feed wires through. But if something else needs to go on here besides just that panel on the side and then the door and then of course the sunroof up here, then I'm not sure there's any particular reason why I need to wait to rivet those in place on this frame, along with down here in the front section, the frame part itself. Yeah, you guys let me know, anyone that's been building as well, what was the process in regards to doing that for you guys? If you did rivet that ahead of time, was it an issue? Did you have to drill out those rivets later, or was it just fine? So let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate everyone's support, and I appreciate all the new subscribers and the guys that have been here since the start.
So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video if you like what the content I'm bringing. And if you want to help support the channel as well, you can buy a t-shirt. I'll put the link down in the description, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, guys, that's all I got for today. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye now. All right, guys, I know that was the end of the video, but I couldn't stop working out here. You guys know me, so yeah. Anyways, I figured I'd get started fitting these pieces, and man, they fit pretty nice. I did have to do a little bit of trimming back here, and I think this top skin here, the top rib on the fuselage, is going to need a little bit more trimming back here because it needs to go. I want the same, the line to be the same here, and I'll turn the camera around and let you guys see what I mean. Okay, so zooming in here, as you can see, this piece on the top comes out a little bit past here. This has the 1/8 inch as requested per the plans. But I want this to have that same gap there. So I might sand that back just enough just so it lines up here with this piece. But other than that, those two pieces fit really nice. And a little tip, anywhere you have new paint, just put a piece of tape around it so you don't scratch that up there. This isn't touching here, which is good. It's really close, but it's not touching, so that's okay. And then we'll clean up this piece here as well. And yeah, that's actually looking pretty nice. So needs to be bent out a little bit, but we'll have to take a look, see how that's supposed to actually fit. But I think it goes somewhat like this. So that looks pretty good, and that's where that top will attach onto. So looking pretty good. And maybe I'll get the other one today, maybe I won't. Depends on how I feel. All right, so that's it. Seriously, that's it for today. I'm going to call it. I'll work on those next week on the net for the other side. So keep building, keep flying, guys, and don't forget, hit that like button. It helps the channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button with the notification bell so you get notified when the next video is posted. So see you guys on the next video. Bye now.